Welcome in, friends. It is Dirty Air on your Friday. Thank you so much for being a part of the program. Clean air is good. Times like this, dirty air is just a tad bit better. My name is Rodney Rodriguez. We're talking short track racing and lots of great stuff as we go into a massive race weekend that's coming up, and lots of it right here on the debut on ultrabroadcasting.com. Super excited to bring Dirty Air over to Ultra Broadcasting. A big thanks to all of the folks that have been instrumental in helping getting this all put together. And here we are, for racers by racers. So important. Ultra Broadcasting, it's kind of a new concept on the way that things are being done right now. And whether it's digital media when it comes to motorsports, and in particular short track racing, which is what we focus on, is there's a lot of different places where you can get your content. Lots of different places, and there's lots of really great places to get your motorsports content around. I mean, you look around and you find it. It is all there, readily available at your hands on a smartphone, on a tablet, on your PC. You can watch it on your big TVs. I mean, it's all right there for you. But the difference is what is happening at Ultra Broadcasting is, just like I said, it is for racers by racers. And that's a difference. That's where, if you want to take in content that is actually folks that have done it, folks that live it, folks that are still a part of it, that have been in different aspects of it. That was one of the things that really drew me to Ultra and the concept of what Ultra Broadcasting is doing. As I've talked about so many different times on Dirty Air, I started out as a race fan with my dad. He started racing. I started racing. I've never retired. I have never retired. I've never said that word until just now, but I'm not saying that I'm doing that. I've done race announcing. I've done race broadcasting, and that's what we do here. And that's what Dirty Air is making the move. And now we'll be here weekly, at multiple times during the week, right here on Ultra Broadcasting. So very excited. Be sure and check out the action at ultrabroadcasting.com. And speaking of that, this weekend, great weekend to get your first subscribe and get great racing action. It'll all start off with the Pot of Gold race and the limited late models happening at Florence. You can catch that on Saturday. Mobile International Speedway will have the pro late models. That's part of a 2-day show, kind of in coordination with Five Flag Speedway. Oh, by the way, speaking of Mobile International Speedway, a little bit later in Dirty Air, this episode of Dirty Air, the debut on Ultra Broadcasting, we will hear from the brain of Mobile International Speedway, which is the great Eddie Shoemaker. He will join me here in just a few minutes. And then when that's all said and done, hey, man, it's not all pavement. We'll go to Lakeview, and you'll have the Blue Ridge Outlaw late models. All of that in store on Saturday at ultrabroadcasting.com. So you're catching this on Facebook and on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed yet to Ultra Broadcasting, do that right now. ultrabroadcasting.com. It is the best bang for your buck that you're going to get when it comes to streaming. So with that weekend, speaking of dirt, one of the events that you will be able to see, and this is actually going to be over our friends over at Flow. I don't know if anybody caught some of the action last night from the dirt track at Las Vegas, where, I mean, you had some kind of finish coming down to the end right there in the Sugar Bee Blackjack Dash with the teacher outrunning the student there, Kyle Larson, winning over Kyle Larson winning over Corey Day, and just one hell of a finish that went down last night. And of course, they'll be doing that all weekend out there. And that's one of the things that you will see that I'm going to be focusing on a lot when it comes to Dirty Air this year is a lot of conversation about high limits, because when it comes to some of the dirt action, I was talking about this on the on my Texas show last night, that to me, high limits, it's just kind of a new wave. It's kind of a breath of fresh air that I'm really enjoying. So you will get a lot of content about that. You will get a lot of content in some of these weekly shows about Supercross, because motocross, to me, I have jokingly told my dirt track friends, to me, the real dirt track racing is motocross. So I'm going to talk motocross, and I know that we have motorsports fans on this network, motorsports fans on the Dirty Air Sports channels. So that's the stuff that we're going to showcase. But some of that other action happening last night, it was Larson winning that feature race. The B feature was Tyler Courtney, in the dash it was Brent Marks. Heat races went to Rico Abreu. Marks also did win one of those, along with Ryan Timms and Giovanni Scelzi. Corey Day and Kyle Larson were the top qualifiers last night. So that will really get kicked off today. So you'll get all of that action happening there as well. And looking at some of the rest of the schedule for high limits, on the 19th through the 21st, and they're on some kind of a run right here through March. They'll head to Central Arizona. They'll go to Vado on the 24th of March. Route 66, which is Amarillo, my neck of the woods over here. It's not anywhere close to me in Texas. I drove to Phoenix, Arizona last weekend. Phoenix, Arizona, to and from 2,224 miles for old Double R last weekend, making that. And then Dodge City, Kansas, coming up for high limits on March 28th. All of that is your high limit action. But for the short track racing folks, our pavement friends, and again, Eddie Shoemaker coming up here in just a few minutes, and we'll discuss some of the happenings at Mobile International Speedway. MIS, which you can catch, as I mentioned, you will catch that tomorrow on Ultra Broadcasting. You'll have the card there of Pro Late models. The Outlaws will be on site as well. The trucks, the Sportsman, the Pure Stock, the Crown Stocks, the ever crazy Crown Stocks, a growing Crown Stock League. Two divisions that are growing tremendously there at Mobile. The Crown Stocks, as they continue to just spread out throughout the Southeast, and then the Legacy division had the courtesy last night of talking to Brian Benedict, who helps lead the regional. It's now a regional touring series there. Here out of my home state, out of Texas. They'll be doing a double dip, as they will race on Friday night at Pensacola, and then they'll go over to Eddie's track on Saturday night and race there with the Legacies. And you're looking at anywhere where that class has grown. And that was a class where here in the state of Texas was essentially gone, 8 to 9 years ago. And then, like, it also happens so many times when you have a division that goes away, is you have a couple of mainstays and you have a couple of diehards that just rebuild this thing. And what they've done with the Legacy series is they took out the middleman, to where you had the Allison Legacy division. And if you're not familiar with what a Legacy is, it's a downsized, early 2000s cup car. It's a scaled down, that same old body style for those race cars that we long to have back in the day. And what it is, it was the Allison Legacy. It was Donnie Allison and his sons that founded that division. But it was kind of like you did with the Legends, with the U.S. Legends, to where you had parts were specifically manufactured by the manufacturer, and it kind of priced itself out. It was more of a division where you had youngsters that would start out and kind of dabble their feet and start out in those divisions. They eventually outsourced themselves, outgrew them. The division went away. And what happened here in Texas, you had folks that brought the class back, but they eliminated the part of where you had to go to the manufacturer. It was like, we don't really care. You've got the Mazda, I think it's a 2600 Mazda engine, and somebody will have to correct me if I'm wrong on that. I just heard that last night. But they outsource to where it's like you have to go to the manufacturer to get those parts. We don't care how you get the parts, as long as they are within tolerance and they can pass our technical specifications, which is nothing. It's not anything that you're going to sit there and you have to look at these things and you need a scientist to try to figure out what the rules are. It's plain and simple. But the thing about it is, you can get on every corner of this Legacy race car and move this thing around and do things with it like you would on a full-scale race car. And they are super fast. They're super fast. And you will see this weekend at Pensacola and at Mobile, especially at Mobile, where you got a little bit more room to move around without having the guardrails there that are going to eat your cars up, I highly recommend that you catch a Legacy, and you can see them right here on Ultra Broadcasting. That's part of that doubleheader happening between Pensacola and Mobile International Speedway. All of that. Looking forward to that as well. And Eddie, we'll talk about that a little later on in the program. Other thing I did want to touch on before we get to the conversation with Eddie Shoemaker, before he joins me here on Dirty Air, is we've had we're going to have a little talk about the Cleetus conversation. And of course, this is your show. Dirty Air has and always has been your show. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, you can chime in right there, drop your comments. If you choose to disagree with anything that I say, that is totally fine. That's part of the gig. I do invite you to follow me on the socials right there, on X at the Rodney R, on Instagram at the _ Rodney R. You can message me if you've got guest ideas, if you've got a track that you would like me to spotlight and talk to somebody from your area, because this show has and always will continue to be based out of Texas, at least for the foreseeable future. But I want to talk about racetracks all over the country. I've got friends all over the country that send me ideas about their racetracks, and that's what I want this show to be about, showcasing your local racetracks, your regional racetracks, talking about different divisions. And again, dirt, motocross, asphalt racing, it matters not. I want to talk about the stuff that we racers talk about for you racers and race fans that are taking in this content. So be sure and hit me up on those socials, like the Dirty Air Sports YouTube page, if you would as well, because looking to get plenty of followers going on that as well. With the Cleetus situation, with the Cleetus conversation, and again, Cleetus McFarland, Mr. Mitchell has done just a fantastic job with, among other things, the Freedom Factory that has stormed back and is now one of the great racetracks right there in Florida, where a lot of great events happen, and he just does masterful things for the sport of short track racing and bringing it to the fruition and in the face of a lot of people. Without Cleetus McFarland, I mean, we would have a gaping hole right now in short track racing, because those are the kind of people that that influence carries over and reminds people. I mean, because you have the NASCAR Cup Series, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, you have all of these different things. And even on the dirt side, where you have, World of Outlaws and High Limits and different things that are the more visible, that are the more touted stuff. But you have to draw people back to the regular short track stuff that we have always done for a long time and continue to do. And it's guys like Cleetus McFarland that do that, because that's where their base is, and that's the people that carry over with them and go different directions. Well, he's got a developmental deal. He'll run 3 races in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series with Richard Childress Racing. And of course, there is a lot of question and different conversations that have been had about that. And there's a couple of pieces of sound from a couple of drivers that were a little adamant about that. And going to play these 2 pieces of sound for you, and you all can feel free to comment on your thoughts or message me on your thoughts, and I will give you mine. And they may be popular, they may be unpopular, but the first piece of sound, this is Brad Keselowski talking about not so much it's the Cleetus effect, but it's like, what are the requirements now? Have we gotten laxed on letting folks get into those series? Are there more deserving drivers? That's really the question. Here's Brad Keselowski.
Is the approval process broken? Yes and no. It's not broken at the Cup level. Is it broken at those other 3 levels? Yes. Those 2 series are meant for guys like Cleetus. As long as it doesn't affect Sundays, I think it's probably fine. Those are supposed to be developmental series. We used to have 4 very distinct series with 4 very distinct identities. The truck series was like, if you were 35, 40-year-old driver who was pretty good, but weren't quite Cup level good, that was your home.
Arguably the most hard-nosed series.
100%. It was the hard-nosed 35 to 45-year-old series. Now it's the place you're like, this guy's 17, he ran 2 races in ARCA, let's give him a shot. Same thing for the O'Reilly Auto Parts series.
You went from ARCA to O'Reilly most of the time.
Yeah, you're pretty good, but we're not sure you're ready for Cup. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put you in a race on the same tracks the Cup cars go, with cars that drive kind of similar to a Cup car, but not the same. And we're going to put like half a dozen Cup drivers in the field against you and see what you can do. And by the way, if you do really well, you're going to get a Cup ride very quickly. And then ARCA was a series where we were like, maybe that guy can drive, maybe he can't. Let's go see. Put him on the racetrack. It was the series.
Okay, so here's my thought on all of that. Do I think that are there other drivers that maybe should have gotten this opportunity that Cletus is getting at RCR? Absolutely. I mean, I think anybody in the right frame of mind in realistically knows that. However, he brings a lot of different variables to the table. He brings the followers. Look, RCR kind of needs a little bit of a shot of electricity right now, and he's definitely going to provide that. How is he going to perform in those 3 O'Reilly races? I don't foresee that he's going to perform the best, but I could be wrong. I mean, that's the whole variable here. But I'm going back more on what Brad is talking about right there. That suits so much to short track racing as well, because in my time growing up in short track racing, there was a ladder that you climbed. You started out, and again, this is I'm a early 50s year old guy, almost in my mid 50s. There were no, I mean, you had quarter midgets, and so forth. But when you got to short track racing, whether you went that route or not, you kind of went the route of okay, you go to a bomber, and then you maybe go to a street stock, then a super stock, then some sort of limited late model, and then you get to a late model, which is now what we call a super late model. We can sit here and we can dissect the different ways that Cletus and on all of these other drivers, whether it be Natalie Decker, whether it be Amber Balkan, whether it be Tony Breidinger, whether it be Malcolm in the Middle. I mean, all of these different people, we can talk about how they get to the point where they're getting. You look at on the short track side, you have a lot of guys, kids, both ladies and dudes, that are getting to those rides either in the manner that Mitchell is going to the O'Reilly series and the truck series, now the O'Reilly series, or the manner of money. So this is a conversation where it is just like honed in, and it's like everybody like really zipping in here and looking at Cletus McFarland. I can honestly go down and look at the truck list, and I can go down and maybe look at some of the O'Reilly lists and ask the same questions that are being asked about Cletus McFarland, because I have said for years and years and years, shouting from the rooftops, that there are some of the best drivers in the country that race weekly, whether it be Monday through Sunday at some random short track around the great United States of America, that will never have the opportunity that these people have. And these people are getting the opportunity because they have that leverage, whether it be money, whether it be now influencers. I mean, the influencer role is just so pivotal. I mean, whether it be in car racing, whether it be in Hollywood, whether it be in even the negatives, the politics, that is such a big role that people take on. And Cletus McFarland, does he deserve this? Honestly, yes, he does deserve it, because he has worked his ass off to build the brand that he has built. Are there other drivers that would do a better job? Yeah. Yeah, there are. I mean, look what Ram just did. That's what I liked about the Ram program with Colleague, which you had that was on YouTube and on Fox and different places, to where you had guys like Jared Fryer, you had the Mini Terrells, and these guys that we have watched for a lot of years cut their teeth at short tracks, get on that big stage and have an opportunity. And that's what you can only ask for some of these guys. But the media stuff, Cletus McFarland has mastered the media stuff. Cletus McFarland just breathes new energy, and he's got this opportunity, and he's going to make the most of it. And this is the debate that's going to go back and forth, but it ranges far beyond Cletus McFarland, and it ranges far beyond Cup racing and O'Reilly racing and all of these different series. You can look in your own backyard. You can look in your own backyard at a racetrack, and there's probably a similar scenario on a smaller scale. Kyle Busch, who also races for RCR, was asked about the Cletus McFarland. Is he worthy? Should this have been? Here is KFB on Cletus McFarland.
Critics that, where's the approval process? And I'm probably one of those to some, and this might be one of those cases, but we haven't stopped letting people race yet, so why now? I don't know how many races he's run. Denny Hamlin ran 10,000 before he got here, right? So I don't know if Cletus has run 10 or not, but there's definitely a need to having ample experience of just, my son's probably run more races than he has, and he's 10 years old. You know what I mean? So I don't think that sets well many of us. There's
And that's the thing for the old school racers. It's, why can't I have this opportunity? Why doesn't so and so get this opportunity? Again, it's leverage. I mean, it's leverage, and that's what racing is. That's what professional sports is right now. And even with when it comes to UARA and ASA Stars and CARA, this is professional sports, guys. And again, that's something that we will definitely dive in, because we're going to be talking about this for the foreseeable future, because nothing's going to change. We're not going to snap our fingers like that and go back to the way it was in the 70s and the 80s. This is where the sport is now. And whether it's Cletus McFarland or whoever's next, I saw that one of a friend of his, who also is another influencer, has an opportunity in ARCA. So this is something that we're just going to continue to watch, and it's going to be a great debate that we can all debate here in a very calm, maybe heated way, and everybody's opinion counts, and everybody's opinion will be heard right here on Dirty Air. Great conversation. Again, you got the doubleheader coming up. One of those races, one of those racetracks that fires up and gets after it on Saturday is my friends at Mobile International Speedway. Next, we'll talk to Eddie Shoemaker. He will preview not only Saturday, but the rest of the season at that old beautiful lady out there in Irvington, Alabama, Mobile International Speedway. But first, a word from some of the great folks who make Dirty Air possible.
Welcome to the My Race Pass app, the #1 app for motorsports fans. We want to make sure you get the most out of your My Race Pass app experience. With your new free account, you can use the My Race Pass app to see race day information, including event entries and official lineups and results for over 600 organizations across North America. You can also see track information and purchase online event tickets for select tracks. With your free account, you can also search for a track or series on the My Race Pass app and favorite their profile to receive news and race day notifications on your mobile device. To see more information and to see which app subscription is best for you, be sure to visit getmrpapp.com. My Race Pass, the ultimate racing resource.
You've probably seen us all over the racing world and doing a lot of racing designs. Precision, consistency. Just like in racing, these are our values in screen printing, embroidery, and everything in between. If it's branded, we can do it. You've probably seen us all over the racing world and doing a lot of racing designs for events and race teams, but we also do a lot of stuff from small boutiques in small cities all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. Your brand deserves to be seen. We print on more than just shirts, hats, jackets, bags, and much, much more. Custom corporate branding starts here.
Hi, this is Tom McKay, owner of Audiovisual Consultation. Hi, this is Tom McKay with Audiovisual Consultations. Today's home electronics can be a bit daunting. My company has spent the last 36 years making sure they are not. For those of you who have not experienced our services yet, we'd like to invite you to give us a try for all your home electronics needs. We carry all the major brands of televisions and stereo equipment at prices you can't find in stores. And we come to you. There's no need to leave your home to find great pricing and incomparable service. No traffic and experienced sales geeks or pushy showroom tactics. We believe in having some fun and dreaming big. Do you have a dream for your home entertainment? Let us know. We can make it come true. And we are always there to help after the job is done. We cultivate clients for a lifetime by treating everyone like their family. No, not those family members. I'm talking about the ones you actually like. So relax, hug your kids, make love to your wife, and smile. Then, when you have a moment, give us a call at 255-8678. That's 512-255-8678. Or online at avconsultations.com. And we'd like to take a moment to thank all of our clients for making the last 37 years both fun and fruitful. If you haven't yet, I'd like to
We have been talking here on Dirty Air about a big weekend that's coming up all across the country. And, of course, one of those racetracks that I mentioned a little bit earlier Hey man, it is one of my favorite racetracks. Probably, it honestly probably is my favorite racetrack in the country, and that is Mobile International Speedway out in Irvington, Alabama. And it's part of a doubleheader. You've got stuff happening at Five Flags tonight, and then Saturday afternoon, and then we go on over to Mobile. And joining me on the hotline, it is the man that makes it all happen right there at Mobile International Speedway. It is our man, Mr. Eddie Shoemaker. Eddie, how we doing, sir?
Doing good, Rodney. How y'all been out there in Texas?
Man, we are, it's actually a little cool down here right now. We've got some cool weather coming in. So we'll take that. I don't think we ever had a winter around here so far. So how about you guys? All the family doing good up there?
Man, we're here. We're excited. We had a practice last night, had a good car count, and we got the track leased out from now until 9 o'clock tonight on private test. So we're looking for a big weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Eddie, before we kind of talk about everything going on this weekend, let's talk about the off season for you. Obviously, MIS not your only venture happening out there. Kind of talk about, I think, for you, it's the challenge of keeping the place up to par. Restrooms, concessions. Kind of talk about all that stuff that's been going on in the off season out there at Mobile.
Oh, it's a nonstop job. If you want a racetrack, it's nonstop. We've been working on bleachers, working on bathrooms, concessions, and we've got 2 tracks. We actually own the drag strip too, so it's double whammy on us.
Yeah.
Double whammy.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, Eddie, I think it's so important for folks to realize, like in the off season, the racing stops and all that, but there's still bills to be paid, and you're investing more money. And kind of talk about that. It's hard enough, hell, with one facility, but trying to do it with 2 of them. I guess the only fortunate thing is, hell, you got them right there back to back, I guess is the only good thing about it.
That is the only good thing. We can use the same crew for maintenance on both tracks, and we share the employees back and forth. So it's a headache, but hey, it'll be worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. I like it.
Yep. I've got your full schedule, season schedule pulled up on the screen on Ultra Broadcasting. Let's kind of talk about just in general with 2026 going on there at the Big Oval. You got a lot of events on there. You've got the marquee events and as always a great different variety of race car, everything from pro late models, super late models, and then pure stocks, all of that. Kind of talk about what you got going on, man. A lot of dates, which is really good to see.
We've got a lot of dates, and we've picked up some sponsorship for the sprint cars. They're going to be here 6-7 times, and we got the legacies. They're going to be here a pretty good bit, and then we got our super races with UARA and Southern Super Series. So a little bit of everything. We got a jam-packed season.
Eddie,
we started tomorrow.
Yeah, man. And it's going to be exciting. You can catch it on ultrabroadcasting.com. Eddie, you mentioned the legacies right there. I was talking to Brian Benedict on the Texas show last night. Let's kind of talk about that there for a moment, because that's something that he and I were talking about last night. Obviously, they're based out of Texas, but even in my time there at Mobile, that was really starting to grow over there. Those legacies, man, they're really getting a lot of steam, and a double header. They're doing tonight at Pensacola and then at your place tomorrow. Kind of talk about that division, man. That's a hidden gem. I think that you guys are about to hit it out of the park with.
We started with when Gina was running the track here, and I'd never seen a legacy, and then I saw it, and I'm like, now this is the ticket right here.
Yep.
And because it's a miniature late model basically, and they total a lot of speed, and it's easy to maintain. Parts are a whole lot cheaper when you're dealing with a 4-cylinder versus a big V8. But and it's grown. I think we're going to go from about 12 to 15 cars to this year we should have 30 plus. So it's growing.
Man, that is so great to hear. So great to hear. So something else that you mentioned right there, I think you are probably the only track. How have you managed? I mean, because I know with the super late models, you've got the different divisions, you've got the different sanctioning bodies. How have you managed to walk that fine line to where you've been able to get them both? that right there is one hell of a feat these days with everything going on.
It's a bitch. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's a bitch. But I was buddies with them before the racetrack, so everybody gets a turn, and so it works itself out. it all works itself out. So they both got a good program, and I want to use both of them. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, that's what makes Mobile International Speedway one of the signature places to watch short track racing. So for this weekend coming up, so it was one of those situations where you've got the Sunshine State 200 that's going to be running during the day, and then you have your card of racing at night featuring the pro late models and everybody else. Kind of talk about all that. The weather looks like it's going to hold out well. It's a short commute to get from one track to another. So I think that's going to be just an ideal day of racing tomorrow on Saturday for folks.
It should be. We like I said, we build our schedules. We talk to Tim. We talk to Montgomery. We talk to all the local tracks, Sunny South Raceway.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have a confusion. And this year we starting off with one. It was just nothing we could do. So me and Tim got together and we come up with this right here will work. My guys, our racers will be down there tonight, and they'll turn around and all his guys will come back here, and we'll give them half off general admission just for bringing that ticket stub. So we try to work together. All these tracks, we try to work together, and every now and again you get a hiccup, and this is one of them, but we're going to work through it.
Yeah. And that's really the key. I mean, you have to. And I think that promoters across the country need to realize and follow that model. Lastly, for me, you talk about your drivers, and that's your pure stocks, your sportsmen, your trucks, all of those divisions. Kind of talk about those because it's like maybe, I mean, when it comes to those divisions, you do typically outdraw Pensacola. Again, not to compare or say anything about Pensacola, but the root of those divisions right there, they are from that Mobile area. Kind of talk about those folks, the McDonald's, all of those, man. They are just diehard racing people, and hell, here they are back for another season there at MIS.
You got the Langhams, you got the McDonald's, you got the Robinsons. We run. These guys run both tracks. If the track's open, if they got to sell blood plasma, they're gonna find money. But we're gonna run these tracks. We just got the best. We got the best drivers. Some of the best fans you ever want to meet. So, and they support. They show up. Anything that a race owner could ask for. You know, we got good people, good cars, and they do whatever it takes to get that car put back together and get it on the track.
Yes, sir. They certainly do. They certainly do. And that's coming up. It's a Saturday show happening right there at Mobile International Speedway. You can catch it on ultrabroadcasting.com. Mr. Eddie, as always, I appreciate the time. Best of luck in 2026. And I will be getting my fat ass over there to Irvington here at some point to come see you guys.
We'll put you on the mic, and if you don't want to be on the mic, we're going to put you in the car, Rodney.
Well, and if worse comes to worse, I'll be at the beer stand. Well, you know, there's always that third option.
There you go. You got the third one.
All right. Eddie, we'll talk to you soon. Good luck, and we'll see you soon.
All right, Rodney. Thank you.
You bet.
Bye-bye.
Why is branded apparel so important for your company? Well, because a shirt or even a hat that has your brand on it gets worn to grocery stores, baseball games, or even family reunions. The impressions are endless and they last years. Contact us today so we can help elevate your company.
Great conversation with Eddie Shoemaker, previewing Mobile International Speedway on Saturday night. Be sure and catch that on ultrabroadcasting.com. Again, that schedule, you can catch the Pot of Gold race and limited late models from Florence on Saturday afternoon on ultrabroadcasting.com. Mobile, as I mentioned right there. And then if you want to get on the dirty side, like Dirty Air, it is Lakeview, the Blue Ridge Outlaw late models, all of that. Great time right now to subscribe to ultrabroadcasting.com. Delivered for racers by racers, powered for racers by racers. Really good stuff right there. Before we get out of here and get you onto your weekend, let's take a little stroll over to the Double R Bar, as we always do to finish up each and every one of these Dirty Airs. Grab yourself a little drink, whether it be coffee, whether it be the beverage of choice. How's that beverage tasting right about now?
Hey, Mara, how's that apple juice? Good. Yeah, it's good? Fucking good.
Boom. Just like the kid says. Where were you 5 years ago? I keep seeing memories of different things. Before you want to beat up your local short track, before you want to bitch out a promoter, before you want to become a keyboard warrior, think of 5 years ago. We were locked down. We had no short track racing. Racing did eventually start. Nobody could go. We found different ways to do it. We had to socially spread each other out, although I do remember sitting in Pensacola during the COVID year, and we were not spread out. But think about that. The next time that you want to rail on your short track, there was a time when we had none of this. We didn't have it. I will tell you, more short tracks are closing down than opening. I don't know of a lot of new racetracks being built, so we need to work in 2026 as we are on the eve of everything really starting to get fired up to work and take care of these racetracks, to preserve them, to preserve that history, so we have the sport that we love. And whether it be streaming, look, if there is a racetrack in close proximity to you where you can go take in the action, go take it in, because there is nothing like being there. And this is something I talked about last night on the other show. You go to a concert, you go to a movie, anything that you buy there is very, very, hell, I don't remember paying $9 for a tub of popcorn, not that long ago. That's what you pay now. The racetrack, it's, $2 to $4. You can get a cool one for $3 to $5. It's get yourself to a racetrack. If it's in a radius where you can do it, you don't have to do it all the time, but you just heard Eddie Shoemaker talking about when the off season happens, and this dude's running 2 racetracks. When there's no racing, the bills, you still got to pay the light bill. You still have to have the lights on. You still have to have running water. You still have to have maintenance. All of that doesn't stop. Get yourself to a racetrack and support the local racetrack. And if you absolutely can't, then you've got plenty of good streamers like Ultra that'll take care of you and give you that content that I was talking about a little bit earlier with the Cletus McFarland stuff. Next week, and you will get multiple Dirty Airs next week, because next week is Rattler 250 weekend. And you'll have the pros, you'll have the sportsmen. Superstock and sportsmen will be able to run together. But a little caveat there between UARA and South Alabama Speedway where they're making that possible. So expect some pretty big fields with that. And then, of course, you'll have who gets to kiss that dreaded rattlesnake. And it'll be wall-to-wall coverage right here on Dirty Air. I may be in Opp, Alabama for that one. Trying to put all of that together. So the inner workings right there. So next week, lots and lots of South Alabama and Rattler 250 coverage, talking to some of the great personalities that make that one of the crown jewels, in my opinion, of super late model short track racing. Thank you for being a part of the program. Be sure and like the Ultra Broadcasting Facebook page. Be sure and like the Dirty Air Sports Facebook page. Be sure and like the Dirty Air Sports. Subscribe. Free. Totally free. Set alerts for Dirty Air Sports. And we will do this again next week as we talk Rattler. Thanks to Eddie Shoemaker. Thanks to all of you for being a part of the program. It's nice being on Ultra Broadcasting for racers by racers. All right, you guys. Clean air is good. Times like this, Dirty Air just a tad bit better. We'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Get your ass out to a local short track and catch the coolest sport in the country. Be well, everybody.